Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. Talk about everything and all about nothing. Tonight we is chilling. I'm over my birthday weekend. I done worked a full week of work, and it was like, whew. I can tell you right now, I don't want to go to work, but I have to get these bills paid. So the slaughterhouse is paying these bills. So that's what's going on. Tonight's guest is, believe it or not, is sorry, but always on point PA, Antonio. Say good evening, Pat.
Good evening.
Oh, and he talking up and everything. Because usually we can't hear his voice, but he got his little snide comments on the background. So I'll talk about anything. The evening is going to be about Peanut trip to the mountains. And then we're going to talk about something that's near and dear, but it can be far from my heart if I wanted to. Sisters. So we're going to start out with Antonio. Antonio, how you doing, by the way? I hadn't been seeing much of you.
I am honestly just around. I'm alive and I am around. But after this trip to the mountains, I am better than I was and probably better than I will be for quite some time. I had a good time. An expensive time, but a good time nevertheless.
Yeah, that happens because that's called being on vacation.
Yes. It was not really a planned trip at all. It was more of a small friend kidnapping.
A friend of napping.
A friend napping. My best friend had already planned to go to the mountains to see one of our mutual friends, and then decided to bring me along. And so we made the long 5-hour trip on up the hills into the dangerous aboves. It was actually quite scary. I don't like heights. I don't like heights at all.
He wasn't going up. They was in the mountains, so they was going upward, but they still in the great state of North Carolina, I'm assuming.
Yes, it was still in the great state. We went to go visit my friend at Western Carolina University.
Western Carolina University. I don't know much about that school.
It's the mountain school.
But I remember you used to get some paperwork on it, though.
Yes, but one thing...
It ain't all boys one, is it?
No.
Okay.
The one thing that it is very white. It was very white. The most shocking thing about the whole vacation, I guess, was the surprising lack of people of color. Like, there was no black folks. None.
I don't know what he's talking about. He knows Caucasians it's plentiful. Excuse me, y'all. I barked at the cat because all of a sudden Sheba likes to, be around my glass, and I don't play that. But it's people don't realize you go whole places and they have never seen people of color unless they tripped in, or they just stopping through, or they married into a family and be like, get there like, oh, I'm the only splash.
Yes.
So that's how that happens a lot of times.
It was a true like only splash situation.
But you said you had fun though.
It was quite enjoyable. I got to see my friend for his 20th birthday. He had a great time. We went skating. Yes, roller skating. And a couple of my friends got dress coded at the skating ring walking in.
Dress coded?
Dress coded is apparently they were wearing something inappropriate for a family rink. Which was funny because I had on the tiniest shorts. But, of course, I didn't get dress coded, and I think the reason is because I am black. So my friends were white girls, and they had on tank tops and got dress coded, and I had on shorts that
so small you could see his thoughts.
Absolutely. And they didn't approach me. They didn't come up to me. They knew not to speak to me. I got a wave as I went inside. But on the way out,
cell phones would be out. It'd be on YouTube in the morning.
Absolutely, they didn't want to seem like a racist and a homophobic. But when we were leaving, the owner, she was like, "Oh, I've been looking at you all night. You've got such strong legs, But whoo, those shorts are a little short. And I was like, well, thank you. And she was like, well, maybe come on Thursday, which is adult skate night, and maybe not on a Saturday, which is family skate night. She was like, I got to deal with the church mom, so maybe next time. And I was like, oh, that's good advice, but I'm gonna wear what I want to. You have a good night. It was actually a really good time. I'm not the best skater, but Mama, I did a good job.
I did. That's good because, like I said, back in the day, I was a very good skater. We had gotten skates for Christmas, and we practiced. And I would like to get back on the skates, but I'm doing a whole lot of change now, so getting on skates and these bad ankles and no knees might not be the best thing for me. But I would love to, I love to roller skate. So that might be something I could see further down in my future.
Yes, Jerica.
50 with wheels.
Jerica got on skates for the first time in quite some time. And she started off very, very, very slowly.
Yeah, you got to start off slow. You can't just get up there and think you're going to be...
Yes. She built up her confidence. She built up her confidence over time. But she did have one fall. She had one big fall. But she went down and she almost caught herself. But them boobies on her chest took her right on out. Took her right on down.
She top shelf heavy.
So she almost caught her balance, but then her boobies hit the floor. It was nice. It was an enjoyable time.
So y'all, they let them in, or they told?
Yes. They just had that put on jackets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a very nice time. We skated for about a couple hours at the very least, and then we headed back to. They have a house up there. Jake and Haley have a house together.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations to them for that. But we headed back to that house to prepare for his party, and.
Was you the only splash?
No other splashes. Soul Splash.
Okay.
But Jake and Haley are native, so that's...
Oh, no, they splashes too.
And Jerica is a native as well.
Yeah,
so. Splash.
Do they know they're natives?
Yes.
Okay.
They love the fact that they are native. Love it. Because they don't know what Native Americans are. And so meeting some is absolutely amazing. The next best thing to sliced bread to these people who have never been exposed to anyone else.
Nothing but exposed to their own kind.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They see them on TV, but that ain't what all natives look like.
Yes,
they see colored people on TV too, but we all don't look the same.
Right. So we get back to the apartment. We quickly prepare and get dressed, and about the time comes and we're like, no one shows up. On time, we're like, all right, so we're going to a little bit goes by and no one shows up as well. And so we starting to get worried. And I was like, Jake, who was hosting the party, I was like, so who's all coming? And he was like, when they show up, they'll show up. And I was like, who did you invite? And he was like, only a couple people. And so his couple people do in fact show up. And he was like, all right. He was like, but I got one more friend coming. And that's when things started getting interesting because Haley has bad anxiety. She has very bad social anxiety.
With a group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it was about 7 of us then. And then he was like, well, one more girl's coming. And Haley asked if she knew her. And he was like, no, you won't probably know her. And she was like, all right. She was already getting anxious. And when the girl showed up, she brought like 7 or 8 more people with her.
Wow. So it doubled
the party size already. And then more people came. But, friendly enough, they were all fun people. They were all hilariously fun people who brought their own supplies of alcohol.
All right, BYOB.
Yes, BYOB. But Haley very quickly tapped out of the party altogether.
Sit in her room?
She went to go sit in her room. She was done for the night.
It was mid. That is mid.
Yeah, unfortunate.
We understand because we have someone who has bad anxiety like that, and even I kind of get a little disgusted when it's a room full of people that I don't know. But I deal with people on this basis all the time. But even when I'm not even when I'm nervous with people, I'll break out in a cold sweat. And I mean, I sweat like I had just run a marathon, but it's a whole cold sweat. And it's just because I get a little anxiety because it's too many people sometimes for me. And like I said, it's not, people want to say it's due to COVID. No, I always been like this. I just ain't never had a place to put it. And now I know what it is. But like I say, once I get over that hurdle, I'm good. And some people can't get over that hurdle, like my daughter, like Mick Big. Everybody hear me talk about my daughter Mickey. She can't always get over the hurdle of the crowd of people. But I watched her walk into the middle of a crowd and say, "Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?" Which threw me for a loop. I was so proud. And then she quickly walked out because I guess that was enough for her. So I understand how Haley felt. You said one more, and we up to 7, and now we up to 14. So
yeah.
I understand he throwing it for a loop, but it still was ended up being an awesome party.
It ended up being an amazing party. It ended up being honestly one of the best parties I've ever had.
You didn't have to save nobody, that's why.
Oh no, most definitely there were some savings. But the best thing was everyone was just so welcoming. Like, I don't know if it was just a difference of where we live or how they were raised, but they were all so overly friendly. It was like they were being overly friendly. They came in, "Oh my goodness, it's good to meet you." Hi.
They were Stepford wives.
They didn't care about personal space. They said, "Give me a hug."
Stepford wives. Stepford wives.
And they drank so heavy.
Yeah.
Like, bless.
They started at 12.
They did. And they were like, oh.
And don't worry, he's getting his shots Tuesday because I feel like I feel like he needs some shots in his life.
It was so funny. They came in with masks. This is a very like COVID friendly party, but
as the liquid started going,
as the liquid started, the mask fled. But it was very refreshing to see just the different kinds of people. But not only were they meeting me for the first time, some of them were meeting each other for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and some of them were meeting Jake for the first time,
even though they
were at Jake's birthday party. And it was funny because they were like, "Well, I brought you a bottle. Happy birthday." They were like, "How old you turning?" And Jake was like, 20. And they were like, "Not old enough to drink." Oh. And I was like, "That's okay. Better luck next year." And it was really good because it was like everyone was getting to make new friends at the same time.
That was what's up. So did you tour the campus?
I did get to tour the campus, and they actually were having a Mountain Heritage Day yesterday, and they had a big festival, and there was food vendors. They had like item sellers, like the people were selling their products. And then they had square dancing. And that was amazing to see.
Yes, the Caucasian of Caucasians.
Quite white activity. But funny enough, most of the male square dancers were actually African American.
Oh my goodness!
Which was a surprise.
Yay!
But all of the girls.
I have been sadly swatted on the hand.
Right.
Because I throw the race card for no reason.
Don't worry. That race card was not misplaced at all because all of the females were porcelain teapots. But and Lord, I mean,
Alan Laura, huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay, the looks were everywhere. It was crazy.
I'm glad.
And today I almost got a little upset because we were driving through town looking for somewhere to eat brunch. They have actual brunch places. Hilarious. That is one of the things I thought was
that hilarious. Is not hilarious. Fayetteville has brunch places too, Peter. Don't do us like that.
Their brunch places is nothing like these.
I don't know because I've been to Chicken and Waffles with Tiffany, and
absolutely.
I guess because I have a real job, so I do real brunch.
I ate. There was a bookstore, right?
Oh, did you go in?
Yes, we went to the bookstore. They had a cat who was the owners, and he just lives in the bookstore. But under the bookstore, in like a basement, is a cafe. They have a underground cafe under the bookstore.
Please tell me you took pictures.
I didn't.
Oh my goodness, I bet that's awesome.
It's so awesome. And then we ate at a restaurant called the Lazy Hiker. And I thought it was just a name, but when you walk up to the place, there's like couches outside. Yeah, and like you can eat outside on the couches. And then when you go inside, there's even more couches and tables. And then upstairs they have tables, but then you can also